Welcome to part 8 of modifying an F-86 Sabre. Well, I got the fuselage halves put together, and you guys are right. This is a big plane. And as you can see, I have the tail assembled. Give you an idea how big it is. There's the tail assembly right there. I just put that together so that you see how big it was. Took the EDF unit out, and as you can see, that's where it sits. I got the wires running through, and believe me, man, I used about 10 extensions in this already, and I haven't even started on the wiring up the wing yet. But I used 10 extensions, 18 inchers and a few 7 inchers, just to get all this set up. As you can see, there's the elevator servo, speed brake servos. There's a lot of foam in this. I was able to cut trenches out to run these lines, to sit these lines in and run them that way, which worked a lot better than using the provided ones, because then I can run them in different other places that are more suitable. But this is a big plane. I'm not going to take the tape off until tomorrow. It's been sitting for a couple hours already. I'm going to set it back on its nose when I'm finished filming. I want to give you an idea how big it is. And as you can see, there's all the lines running up into the cockpit area, because this is where everything's going to sit. See all these lines here, all these extensions running into it. You got your nose gear, retract, steering servo, rudder, elevator, speed brakes, throttle, flaps, landing gears. Oh, this thing's going to be loaded. But I don't want to take any of that tape off until tomorrow, because I want the glue, the epoxy, to fully cure. When you put those halves together, be generous with the epoxy, because there's a lot of working space. Spread it out, but make sure you don't glue those wires in place in case you ever have to pull them. And while I was at it, I did something else. I put the wing halves together. This is also huge. Now, I'm going to tell you a few things I'm going to do to the wings. As you can see, I already pulled the lower halves out. Now, when I redo the landing gears, I'm going to fit the landing gears into here, but I'm going to make wooden blocks. That way they're stronger. Because sitting on that foam is not going to work. I'm going to make wooden blocks, set the landing gears on those, and I'm also going to cover this with carbon fiber to strengthen it. And I think it was Party John that did this. He ran carbon fiber through the wings. That way it was stronger, much stronger. And I think that's what I'm going to do too. I'm going to run carbon fiber rods through the wings to help strengthen it, make it much stronger, instead of just relying on this foam. I feel a lot better that way. We're going to have to cut in the flaps. I'm going to have to put those halves back on, and I have to do some measuring so I can cut the flaps in. Then we're going to have to fill that and get it all hooked up. And I'm changing these hinges. So even though these are nice, these are taped hinges, but they're starting to pull off already, and it hasn't even been in the air. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull apart all the hinges off the ailerons, all that taped hinge strip, and I'm going to use these nylon pin hinges. I'm going to put these nylon pin hinges in there. That way it's a lot better hinge than that tape. A lot more reliable. Here we go. A lot more reliable, and it'll grip pretty good. So I use these hinges in that hawk. I got them running through the ailerons in the hawk, and they work great. And I got plenty left over to be able to pin those hinges. Also pin the hinges on the flaps as well too. Whew, but this is one big plane. This is a big plane, as you can see. This is the wing. I'm going to also run some carbon fiber right up the center here. That'll help strengthen that too. A couple layers up the center will help give it some added strength, instead of just relying on these two wooden straps here to hold it together. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Like I said, this is a big plane. It's going to be pulling some G's in the turn, especially with that full flying elevator. So I'll be safer making sure that the wings won't snap off when I do a high G turn. So this is going to be pretty good. It's going to be a pretty good plane when I'm done with it. I'm still coming up with paint jobs for it, but I seem to like the paint job that other people have had so far with the yellow stripes on the decals. And I'm thinking about just painting those decals on, or painting my stripes on instead of using the decals. And I was looking at these decals, and they're not that bright a yellow. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint my decals on, or paint my stripes on. And next we're going to be doing, once all that glue dries, we're going to be filling up all those spots and dents with some light filler. Get it all filled up, get it ready for priming, because I want to paint it outside while it's still nice. But one thing I'm going to do, which I learned this from, who's that? Tinkerman Tim. Thanks, Tim. Great tip. What he did with his Sabre, he covered it with a film, a plastic film. I'm going to do some experimenting with this. He covered it with a plastic film. That way, it's more resistant to dinks and dents and so forth. Because some guys fiberglass this, which is good, but it adds weight. And one thing that he recommended was a Elmer's glue and water mixture. I think it was 60 parts Elmer's glue and 40 part water. But I'm not going to use that. He also recommended using this. I went to Home Depot and got this. It's by Minwax. It's a water-based polyacrylic protective finish. Now this will put a protective coat on the foam without adding any weight. And I got some sponge brushes over there that I'm going to apply them with. When we get to that part, I'll show you how to do it. But I'm going to do a little experimenting with this first. But this is what I really want to use because it's light and it's water-based, so it won't hurt the foam. And once this stuff dries, then we prime it and paint it. But this is kind of turning out to be a real fun plane. But like I said, it is big. Once again, let me show you how we got everything all hooked up and wired and ready to go here. Using my Turnigy servo tester. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the elevator. Here's our elevator. All nice and working. And all we got to do is drop in the receiver and it should be good. And here's the other fun part, the speed brakes. Our speed brakes still work great. So it's coming along nicely. Oh, almost forgot. There's that nose gear set right there. As you can see, I used wooden blocks, mounted those in with epoxy and baking soda mix, and I covered the surrounding area with it with carbon fiber. So that whole nose area is strong as a rock. It's strong as a rock, but light. So when I come in for a hard landing or on grass, because my fields are all grass. But I think I'm going to take, I know a couple of fields that are a little bit out. I think one is in Cuyahoga Falls and the other one is in Youngstown. I'm going to take it out to their fields. They have a paved runway. And I think its maiden flight is going to be on a paved runway. But that nose gear was my main concern. And because I wasn't going to put these two little things in there. This is all that the kit came with to hold your nose gear in, and that would not help. That would not hold. So next one, we'll be getting started on the wings. I'm going to let this sit on its nose. I haven't put the nose ring on yet because I want to put it back on its nose. I'm not going to let it sit like, even though it's been sitting for 2 hours and drying, I'm not going to leave it on this cradle. I'm going to let it sit on its nose because I don't want to take a chance and have, for some reason, the halves come apart and I'm screwed. So I'm going to set her back on her nose and let her sit on that overnight so that glue can dry fully and cure fully. I don't want to take any chances. So we'll see you next time. Hope you guys are enjoying some of the weather because they predicted rain here, but we've been getting some nice weather. And I did get a little flying in with my other planes. So I had some fun there. So in the meantime, enjoy yourselves and good flying to you.